So, I just finished a week of work that made me think a lot about my life, and to be more precise, made me think a lot about a life that I thought was behind me, and it put a lot of things in perspectives. Before we start, I'm just going to prepare my dinner and my lunch for tomorrow, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about that, because I understand that for a lot of people, we are searching for meaning in our life. We are searching for our passion. We want that passion to maybe be our work or something that, I don't know, is just who we are and is part of the journey we are on. But sometimes we get lost because your interests change, and the life you thought you wanted a year from now can be completely different now. Maybe you want to have a completely different life now, or at least, and that's the situation I'm in, I know that this life I wanted before is not the life I want now, but now I'm not 100% sure what kind of life I want, what I want to center it around. So let's talk about it today. To give you some context, after graduating high school, I went to the university and I studied English literature, which I really enjoyed because back then I was passionate about English. I'm French, if you didn't know. So learning to speak English and to read about English literature and civilization and phonetics and all that was very fascinating to me. At the same time, I took Japanese. I'm a big fan of Japan, and I don't think I've talked enough about it on this YouTube channel, but I've been in love with Japan for a really long time now, and last year, actually coming close to a full year now, because it was in April, June, fuck. Oh, I hate to think that it was a year ago, but I went to Japan with my girlfriend, now fiancé, and we just had the best time of our lives, really, so. I really enjoyed this part of my life, studying English, but as I was doing that, I remember one summer I took a job in a bar. I was just 18, I didn't drink alcohol, I hated that, but as I was working in this bar, I realized that alcohol, wine, beer, whiskeys, spirits, rums, all that, was actually something very interesting. It was not just something to get drunk with, made in a factory. No, it was made by true winemakers and distillers and brewers. And as I was working with my colleagues that were very literate about these products, whenever I had a question, most likely it was because a client asked me a question and then I didn't have the answer to that question, so I would ask my colleagues. And whenever I would ask them, oh, what's the difference between a red wine and a white wine? And why is this beer called an IPA and this one is called a stout? And what does that mean, single malt or peated whiskey? All these things. And every time they had an answer to that, it made me realize that it was actually something big. And so very fast, I became very passionate initially about beer, and then spirits with whiskey, and then wine. And that became a passion of mine next to my studies. It was just something I was reading about on my free time, and I was tasting some beers that I would buy, craft beers. It was very fashionable at that time. And I remember one day I had a conversation with my mother, and she said, what do you want to do when you graduate high school? Because the normal destination of my studies would have been to become either an English teacher or a French teacher or a translator or an interpreter, I think you say. I was not interested in any of that. I really loved my studies. There was nothing else I wanted to do at that time. But I also knew that the degree I would get would not allow me to do anything that interested me from this degree, if that makes sense. So we were talking with my mother and she said, and how about this passion of yours for like wine and that? Have you ever thought about studying it? And I said to her, is there actually like work from that? And she said, yeah, I mean, like you can work in like winemaking, or you can work in branding or in sales for these companies, and there's a lot of money behind these big brands and all that, so it could be interesting for you to study that. And I said, I had no idea it was possible. I looked online, and the first school I saw was a school in Bordeaux, the city of Bordeaux, very famous for wine, so it made sense. And I looked at the program and I saw you had classes on like wine and whiskey and rum, and everything was it was in a business school. So they taught you business like marketing, sales, communication, branding, how to build a brand, entrepreneurship, all these things. But all that within the wine and spirits industry. And so on top of that, we had subjects very specific about winemaking, about the different spirits categories, beers and all that. So the subjects we had were all so interesting. And I instantly made my mind up that I wanted to study that. The other cool thing is that at that time I was in Brittany, so in the north of France, and my girlfriend was in Toulouse, in the south of France. And when I could do my master's degree in Bordeaux, she had, the school she was in Toulouse also had a school in Bordeaux. So she could do the following year in Bordeaux and continue her journey as well. And so we could finally move in together, which was perfect and very convenient. And so I moved to Bordeaux, and I'll make the story short, but for 2 years I studied wine and spirits. I worked in a spirits company in Bordeaux. I had the best time of my life then. It was very, very pleasant. I learned a lot about it. And when I graduated, again, I knew I didn't want to get a job. I knew I didn't want to join a big company, to join a big wine or spirit group. I wasn't interested in that. I was interested in the corporate world. So I just thought, I knew I liked marketing and branding, and so I just thought, let's start my own agency. And so I became a freelance entrepreneur, and I started my own agency. There's a lot of things to talk about, also about everything I learned from that. This is not today's video. But I, of course, started working with clients from the wine and spirits industry. And even to this day, every client I have are either a wine brand or a spirit brand. But after maybe the first year of working on my own, I realized that as I grew more and more interested in health, going to the gym, eating good food, looking after my sleep, I naturally stopped drinking alcohol because I instantly realized that it made me sleep worse, that I would perform worse in the gym afterward as well. And so naturally I stopped drinking alcohol. And because I stopped drinking alcohol, I stopped studying alcohol and learning about alcohol and wanting to read about alcohol. And this interest of mine for wine and spirits completely disappeared, to the point where you can now see on the shelves here that it is filled with booze. I even have some more here. And I don't care about it. I don't want to drink it. I'm not interested in it anymore. I don't feel anything from it anymore, which also makes me sad. The only thing I feel from it is sadness, because I see the passion I used to have for this and I don't have it anymore. And this week, I was the teacher for the school I had studied in, and they called me back this year and they asked me if I was interested in teaching whiskey. So I just gave a 3 days course, so 18 hours worth of class on Whisky. And as much as I enjoyed it, I enjoyed the student, I enjoyed going back to my school as a teacher, it was great. I felt like an imposter. But actually, I didn't. It was a mixture of two things. Because I saw these passionate kids, just like I used to be passionate about whiskies when I was in this school. And I had to show passion myself, because as a teacher, if you want your passion to be contagious, to make your class interesting. And so I had to talk from a position of love for whiskies when deep down I actually don't really care about it anymore. And so what was weird is that I was completely confident about my teaching abilities, about my knowledge and expertise on whiskey. I know that my class was very complete, very interesting. Whenever the children, they're not even children, they're like 20, 21, 22. Whenever the students had questions, even very technical questions, I had an answer to it. Complete confidence over my skill in that regard, which is weird because even in my actual job as a social media manager and content creator, I doubt myself every day. I'm proud of the work I do. I see that I'm good at what I'm doing, and yet every day I doubt myself. Every day I wonder, why did I choose this path? Why is it like there are thousands of people that do it better than me, and I don't even feel like I'm very skilled at it. But here in the class I was teaching, I felt completely confident about my skills, and yet I felt like an imposter because I was teaching something, pretending to be passionate about something that I actually don't really have an interest for anymore. And it made me think a lot about what I'm doing with my life. Not in a bad way. If anything, I'm glad to see growth. And I don't regret what I did, like learning about wine and spirits, because I learned a lot from it. And it gave me a lot of opportunities, of working opportunities, such as this class I taught, but also all my clients are from this industry. And if I have these clients, it's because I have this expertise that makes me different from all the other community managers and social media managers, because on top of doing content creation and social media management and all that, I also have an expertise on the product I'm communicating about and I'm marketing. And so that makes me very attractive to my clients, but they don't know that I don't really care about these products anymore. I know a lot about them, but I don't care about them. And I feel like something is like clashing. Like I feel like I shouldn't be working in an industry that I don't care about anymore, that doesn't make me passionate about anymore. Especially when you see all these students that are passionate and that they are gonna be the next ones entering this industry. And so with an industry filled with passionate people, what the fuck am I doing here when I'm completely uninterested by that? When all I have is knowledge and expertise for my clients, but no passion from it. When next to that, I am actually working on another passion of mine, making these videos, working on myself, on my lifestyle. And this is what makes me happy. And this is what I wish my life could be. This is the reason I wish I could be paid for, to do these videos, to help people in situations like me. But for now, I'm so far away from being able to do that. And so I need to keep doing what I'm doing with my agency, that is doing something I don't feel 100% confident about in an industry that I don't care about anymore. But I'm still very happy. I love my clients. I love my clients. I love the products they have. Not like I used to before, but I'm confident and I know that it's great product, it's good quality product, and I'm happy to help them with these products. So it's doing all of that, and also it's making me happy because of, more than anything, the freedom that I have to work on my own, to work with my own clients, and I wouldn't change that for anything. I would never go back to a 9-to-5. But feels weird to, usually, you know, people, they start their own jobs because they do it out of passion. And it's weird that I did it out of passion, but now it's just becoming a regular job that I don't really do out of passion, but just because these are my skills and I already have clients, so might as well continue. When next to that, I have other things that I actually now feel passionate about, but I can't turn them into an actual income yet. So that's a work in progress. That's why I'm making a video at the end of the week when I'm tired as hell, when I'm meal prepping, and I'm still going to record this video and upload it because I haven't posted anything for the past 2 weeks and I really need to get back on track. And this video will get no views because I understand it doesn't interest anyone. But that's just for myself to get back into posting, to show also a more authentic part of myself, and maybe in the future, maybe you're watching this video 3 years in the future and maybe I've grown a lot since then, and maybe even myself, I will look back on this video of myself ranting about all my life hesitations as I was cutting sweet potatoes, and I will look at this video and see that all these questions I'm asking myself right now led to answers that I don't know yet, but will completely make sense in a few years from now. So I'm really confident that everything will work out fine. Having a passion is great because it boosts you to learn and to do things, and it's fuel to your engine. But at the same time, what you love today is maybe not what you are going to love tomorrow. And when you build your life about what you love today, when you lose this passion, you kind of lose meaning and this sense of purpose. So I think from now on, I want to build a life around myself so that whoever I'm going to become in the future, whatever I'm going to want to do, I'm still going to be myself. I think this is what really comes down to personal branding. When you have your own brand, you evolve as a human being and your brand evolves with you. And if you can show your true self, which I'm trying to do and I'm starting to do more, I want to talk about my current passions for reading, for tea, especially tea now. I'm becoming very, very interested in tea because I find the same interests that I had with wines and spirits about like terroirs and production and all the different categories and the process of making tea and the different variations. It reminds me also of the love I had for making cocktails, because preparing tea can be a whole ceremony as well. But the cool thing with tea is that you don't have all the side effects of alcohol. You don't have the bad sleep, you don't have the health issues, you don't have the poor performance in sport. If anything, it's even healthier. It makes your life better. So I really want to talk more about tea. But then again, I'm like, why should I talk about tea? Does that even interest people? Does that make sense with the kind of content I want to put out there? But the content I want to put out there is me and myself. And it sounds very selfish. It sounds very narcissistic. But the point is not to say you watch my channel because I'm the most interesting person in the world. It's I make these videos because I would love to watch them myself. And deep down, as much as we think we are unique, as much as we think no one is like us, there are thousands of guys like me that like the same things, that have the same personality, the same worries, the same goals and the same aspirations, that want the same lifestyle that I want, to grow with my girlfriend, to build a family, to get my own house, to build my own business and make my money and become a good man, a well-dressed man, a well-spoken man. And it will come, and if I do these videos because they make me happy, I know some people will be happy to watch them. Sorry about the noise. This is the best gadgets ever. Just electric pepper and electric salt on the potatoes, paprika on the potatoes, and I'll have 2 chicken thighs that I'll put on it, and that will go in the oven for 30 minutes. And that's my dinner for tonight and for tomorrow. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you for talking with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you watched through it, leave me a comment because I really doubt anyone would still be here. But if you are, thank you very much. And future Tom, yes, myself, if you watch this video in the future, I really hope that when you look back on my journey, where I was 2 years from now, where I am now, and where I'll be 2 years from now, I really hope I'm happy where I am. I really hope I see that the journey made complete sense and that I did not have to worry, or that my current worries led to answers that helped me get to where I'm currently in the future. So thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.